Charles Leclerc has lifted the curtain on Formula One's radical future, and his verdict is clear. In 2026, drivers will have to forget almost everything they know about racing. That's how big this change is going to be. The sport is heading for what has been called the biggest regulations shakeup in nearly 80 years of F1 history, a complete transformation of both the chassis and the power units. And unlike previous resets, this isn't just about aerodynamics or tires. This is about reprogramming the very DNA of how a Formula One car is driven. Let's break it down. Turbo hybrid power units will remain, but the balance of power changes dramatically. 50% of the car's output will come from electrical energy. Yes, half. That means drivers will be managing a machine that's closer to a high-tech hybrid weapon than the combustion-driven rockets of old. Add to that the use of sustainable fuels in the internal combustion engine, and Formula One is making a statement. The future is green, but it's also brutally complex. On the aerodynamic side, the ground effect era, only just revived in 2022, is already being scrapped. Flat floors are making a return, and movable wings are coming into play, creating a completely new dynamic in how cars generate speed. Forget the old rhythm of dirty air and DRS zones. Racing in 2026 will look, feel, and demand something entirely different. Leclerc has already had a taste of the simulations, and his words capture just how shocking this transition will be. It's very, very different to what we are used to. Drivers will have to forget what we've learned in our career and start again from a blank page. For a man who has been racing since he was 4 years old, that's a staggering statement. To erase muscle memory built over decades, that's not just a challenge, it's almost a psychological reset. And here's the fascinating part. Leclerc doesn't sound afraid. He calls it strange, yes, but also a challenge, one he's eager to embrace. This is the mentality of a driver who knows survival in Formula One isn't just about talent, but about adaptation, and he's not alone. Alex Albon has echoed similar concerns, saying the new cars will demand a driving style closer to Formula E than traditional F1. Energy management will become the first battleground. How you deploy power, how you juggle strategy, and how you think under pressure will matter as much as pure corner speed. As Albon put it, it's difficult to drive. The mental load is high. You have to learn a different driving style. And honestly, this might be the most exciting part of 2026. For years, fans have complained that Formula One became too predictable, too dominated by aero philosophy. Now the emphasis is swinging back to the power unit, to energy deployment, to a driver's ability to adapt under stress. It's not just about who has the best wind tunnel anymore. It's about who has the sharpest brain and the best synergy with the technology inside the cockpit. Teams, of course, are already working furiously. Power unit projects have been underway for years, and now the full focus is shifting to the new chassis. Everyone knows that 2026 represents an enormous opportunity. Get it right, and you could leapfrog the entire grid. Get it wrong, and you might condemn yourself to years of irrelevance. And here's my opinion. This reset will expose the truth about Formula One's drivers. Who can adapt? Who can throw away decades of instinct and relearn from zero? Leclerc himself admits it feels strange, even unnatural, to delete his muscle memory. But maybe that's exactly what separates the good from the great. For Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and especially for drivers like Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, 2026 is not just another season, it's a rebirth of Formula One. It's Formula One asking every driver, are you just fast? Or are you capable of reinventing yourself completely? Leclerc summed it up best. It's very different. Different enough to break some careers. Different enough to create new legends. And different enough to remind us why Formula One is the ultimate test, not just of speed, but of evolution.